Welcome to episode number 3 of WTF, and that is what the fix stops to you all out there. Thanks for joining us today. Charity, what do we got? What do we got on tap today?
Well, thank you, Russell. And it's good to see everybody. Today, I want to have a quick conversation a little bit about marketing. So not just marketing in business, but marketing in life. And I think that you're the perfect person to ask this because salespeople know the best how to market themselves.
You know, that reminds me of something many years ago. I didn't really understand. I've learned so much about marketing, not only for our business and from you as well, because you're a marketing guru, but also in life, Charity. I mean, how to present yourself. And so I don't even know if a lot of people know this, but back in the day, and I think even today, everybody knows IBM, right? Everybody knows who IBM is, right? International Business Machines. Well, if you'll notice, at any point in time, when you ever look at somebody, they either have a dark blue or dark blue or black suit. They have a white shirt with a red tie. And, what is the reason for that? Well, they found that those are the most palatable colors across the United States, actually across the world. They're neutral. They're not flamboyant. They make a very positive statement without rattling trees from one culture to a different type of culture, or one part of the country to another, rural or national or even international. So it's really important how we present ourselves, how we look. I know today you see me in a beard, right?
Yes.
Well, many years ago, back in 1960 something or other, when the Vietnam draft took place, and draft dodgers, etc., well, they would grow their hair long and a beard to avoid, being drafted, and they would take off and hide. And up until probably, 10, 15 years ago, maybe not much longer than that, beards have become an accepted norm again. You see a lot of people with facial hair, a lot of men with facial hair now. Most of the time it's well groomed and it's acceptable today. The culture's changed, or the paradigm shift has changed.
Sure.
But all those things are really important when presenting yourself personally, professionally out there, from your shoes being shined and looking good to actually what you're wearing, because first impressions are everything. And that's important in sales and marketing, right, Charity? First impressions are everything.
That's very true. And, the red, white, and blue color scheme is very symbolic of the American flag.
True
and,
that.
Which is a symbol of power around the world. And a lot of politicians will wear red, white, and blue.
Yep.
And, just to show their patriotism.
Yep. Absolutely. Really important. I mean, for whatever reason, if everybody was blind, it would be a different story, but they're not. And let's face it, most people will size you up in the first few minutes. So here's the thing about marketing. I don't know if even a lot of people pay attention to. When you're walking down the street, or you're going to meet somebody and you shake their hand, you really should. A lot of things I learned about body language and shaking hands and presenting oneself. So you shake somebody's hand sideways. If your hand's on top, you're representing that you have control. If their hand is on top, they're representing they have control. A proper handshake is neutral. It's right in the middle. Okay.
Right,
and that way everybody's on a level playing field. Another aspect of that is if they squeeze really hard, overbearing, you get some really heavy handed one. Well, that's a sign of insecurity. Or
really?
If it's really sweaty and or loose and flimsy, that's another sign of insecurity. Now, some people don't really, or actually, I don't think most people even know that. And if they did, they don't really know what to associate that with. But it's really important. And then while all that's going on, literally in about 3 to 5 seconds, the eye contact is real important. You look directly into their eyes. You don't do it for more than 2 or 3 seconds, and then you look away because that's somebody's personal space. Just like when you're walking down the road. Now, I usually say hi to everybody, Charity. So when I'm walking down the road, I'll engage people and say hello to them. I'll say, hello, how you doing today? Or something like that, just real quick. Now, I will always gaze into their eyes for that 2 to 3 seconds. After that, it's like, what are you looking at?
Right.
What the hell are you looking at, sir?
Right. You know, uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so body language is a big deal.
Very big deal. If somebody's leaning forward, leaning backward, arms are crossed, they're closed. That's another form of marketing to mirror the customer. I do it probably subconsciously today, but when I'm visiting with people sitting across from them, a lot of times, if somebody's in my office, I don't, depending on the statement I want to make, I will stay at my desk. Other times I'll go around and sit next to them. That represents that's a different type of marketing. If their legs are crossed, if they're leaning forward, their hands are out or back, if I mirror what that other person is doing, they become more at ease, and you can see them changing their body language, particularly if their arms are crossed. So these are all little things that have to do, subtle things with marketing. So great thoughts, Charity.
Yeah, so that could be either practiced or very intentional, that behavior of mimicking someone.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's a fine line between where they'll notice it. I know, that could kind of be odd to someone if it were very obvious about that kind of behavior. Exactly.
Very. Another thing is something I learned a long time ago with men and women, particularly my wife. So there seems to be a bigger disparity between men and women than there is men to men or women to women. I could be wrong.
I think you're right.
Okay. But sometimes when, do we want to go there?
Yeah.
I think sometimes when I'm talking to my wife and she says something, it doesn't happen all the time, I'll make some comment. And she said, no, that's not what I meant at all. And other times I might say, well, this is what I heard. And she'll say, no, that's not what I meant by that. And then she'll clarify.
Right.
So sometimes I do that with potential clients too, existing clients, et cetera. When they say something, I say, let me make sure I understand exactly what you said. And there'll be some little variation of that. And they'll go, yeah, pretty much. But I wanted to make sure that you understood this one thing. And I'll say, okay, I just want to make sure I understood that, and thank them for that. People really respond well to that. People want to be heard. Another one too is using their names, not only using their names, but using them pronounced the right way.
Yes.
Right.
People do appreciate when you pronounce the name properly.
Exactly. Oh man. So those are, I don't know if a lot of people think about those, but those are all things personally and professionally regarding marketing and how you present yourself and how you interact with your customers. And all these things make a huge, powerful statement subliminally.
Yeah. And those are good communication tools to
They are.
have just in life. You want to make sure you're hearing your spouse and what they're saying and repeating it back to them. Did I hear you correctly?
Yep.
And then just getting verification that you heard that right.
Yeah. I think more men need to practice that. Don't you, Charity?
It does take practice, right?
It does. It does.
So what about when you start a conversation with someone? How do you like to market yourself that way?
Well, it all depends. It all depends. When after the initial introduction, I usually ask, hope you're doing well. Hope this finds you well. Hope you're having a great day, etc. And, it really depends. It's one of those subliminal things I've tried to pick up on the time. I would say I'm wrong a lot, but I'm right more than I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. So I'll move fast sometimes, particularly when I do Zoom calls. We need to be conscious of people that are on the other end. Sometimes they're not face to face like you are and I are. They may be just a picture represented in the background. You don't know if they're on their phone, if other people are in the room, if they're on mute. So you need to make sure that you're continually engaging them. And when you share something with them, maybe invoke, what are your thoughts about this? Or do you have any questions about that? Or, Charity, am I going too fast? Because I tend to get a little ADHD type A.
Yeah.
If I go too fast, tell me to pull back the reins. So I will continually engage the customer as things go in person as well, but even more importantly on Zoom, because of the communication style. So we need to adapt differently. If you're seeing them, that's one thing. So when we're talking to people, even like this on Zoom and recording, or maybe you don't see me or I don't see you, that we're just talking. You can present yourself almost the same way as if you were in person, in body language and voice inflection,
Yes.
and your tone. That will relate just on the voice part of it. But when you factor in an image like you and I talking, then you can see the gestures. The thing that I
Right.
hate, the thing that I hate the most is when everybody's wearing masks and you can't see anything,
I know. I know,
except the
that's really
eyes.
hard.
Yeah, that's a tough deal. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's really great stuff. You think, okay, well, marketing is just this and that. No, there's a science to marketing and projecting oneself. Uh, Sales, marketing, usually it's sales and marketing, sales and marketing, sales and marketing. It's very important, how you dress, how you walk, how you talk, and what you're actually dressed in. And then
Mhm.
how do you shake their hand, their eye contact. I mean, those are subtle little things that the other person may or may not pick up if they don't know what I know or what you know. And it could be a real turnoff. And I'd like to think that, that everybody likes me. Well, that's just not the case.
Right.
But I will tell you that, for the most part, you almost have to go out of your way not to like me, because I don't think I'm very offensive to people. But I don't know what. See, that's another thing. We don't know what's going on in their head. We don't
Mhm.
know exactly what happened. So here's an example. It's attitude. So I'm in a restaurant and we're with 4 or 5 people or 2 couples or whatever. Maybe there's 3 couples. We're all sitting there. We see this waitress or waiter,
Mhm.
and they're moving kind of slow. And then you can hear somebody at the next table that they're kind of upset because, they keep looking, they're waiting, they're waiting, they're waiting. They're not understanding what's going on. The lady tries to make it by there. And then another table, she brings the food out. It's not right. It's wrong. And they start, hitting, just, lambasting her all over the place.
Mhm.
And then that then I and the 3 couples are all picking up on what's going on there. And it's just like, I need to see the manager. This is just not right. Now everybody around that's hearing that and seeing that is getting a little agitated. Well, then this next table over is actually a friend of hers, and she's there for moral support because her husband was just involved in a car accident and is in the hospital. Now, at that, I get goosebumps. Just at that moment, everything changes. We're
Mhm.
much more forgiving, offer much more latitude with what's going on. We're helpful. We can feel the sense of loss or pain or frustration and anxiety, and we're much more forgiving. And all this is a thought that quick,
Right.
and we change everything. That's how important the attitude is.
Right. Is that a real story, Russell?
Yes, it
Does that
is.
really happen, or is it
It
an
is a real. It
example?
is a
It
real story.
is.
It is.
Interesting. Yeah, when we can really empathize with other people and what they're going through, it's really important.
Well, we never know. We never know. And to this day, I mean, I still have my moments. All of us do, where it's like, okay, you'd have to see where I live. And I don't, nobody else is going to be able to relate to this, but I thought I'd throw it out there in case there was one out of 100, 150. So I'm pulling out of my drive and I got this busy parkway in front of me. And I'm thinking, don't they know who in the hell I am? I'm Russell Hill. I'm Russell Hill. Park the sea, baby. Let me get out of here. Uh, Now that's the wrong attitude, of course.
For sure. Sure. Yeah, I mean, because every one of those people in every one of those cars has got their place to go to. Someone's having a baby, get out of the
Exactly.
way. I'm late for work.
It's so it all it's attitude, it's professional, personal, uh, spiritual, emotional. All those things have to do with sales and marketing. And you know what? People say, "Well, I could never be a salesperson." Everybody's a salesperson.
Yes.
Do you have kids? Do you have a spouse? Do you have parents? You're selling
Yeah.
something to
Mhm.
somebody, an idea, a concept, something is being sold.
Right.
And
And yeah, when you need a job, you have to sell yourself during the job interview
that's
process.
right.
I mean, that happens all the time.
I think it's inherent in me. I have that ADHD type A personality. I'm an extrovert. I love communicating, talking with people, engaging people. And once you start engaging them, if you think about it, let's say you got a photo album in front of you and you're sitting there with a family and you're turning the pages. Of course, it's, most people are looking online today, but even if you were and everybody was looking at the screen, and let's say in this one particular picture, there's 4 or 5 of us that are looking at that picture, but it's a picture of our entire family. And there may be 8 or 9 people in the photo. The first person everybody's looking at is themselves. That's what
Yes.
they're doing first. Oh, I look like dog doo-doo or something, or whatever. Oh, I was fat
Right.
then or whatever. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
People want to talk about themselves, and people want to know that they matter. People want to know they count. They want to know they make a difference. They want to know that they're part of something, that they're part of something. I
Right. A
think
community.
I think everybody wants that almost as much as breathing air itself. You want to diminish somebody, make them, feel belittled or less than, and all the things that I talked about. And that's not the right way to deal with people.
Right. We're always striving to do the
Yeah,
opposite,
we
to,
are.
lift people up and make them feel special
Yep.
and cater to their needs. That's,
Absolutely.
what can you do for me is a question I know that you've strived to answer in a lot of your meetings with a lot of customers.
No, thank you. Yeah, I think it's important when I was selling cars and I'd introduce myself to a customer and they would say, condition response, because I still do it. We all do it. Let's say we walk into a store and a sales associate comes up and says, "Can I help you?" No, I'm just looking. Condition response. I'm just looking.
Right.
I have some idea. I don't know where the hell it's at. I have no idea. So when somebody comes onto a lot, that's my home. It's like, okay, they'll pretty much take my cue. I'll shake their hand, introduce myself, hand them a card, make sure I use their name. I practice this in just about everything that I do. And they'll say, "Well, we're just looking today." Okay, well, great. We'll just call this fact find, gather, and information visit, right? That's all it is. Not selling today. We're just showing today. Now I'll use that sometimes, and I'll say, "Well, we don't want to be bothered. Okay, we don't want to be. That's fine. No problem. I'll tell you what. See that step right there? I'm going to be right there on that step. Feel free to go out, look wherever you want to. If I can be of any assistance at all, you just turn and look and motion for me, and I'll be there." Well, that makes them feel really at ease, right?
Right.
So they start walking off. They have no idea what they're looking for. Most people don't. They don't know where it is. They don't know how to look at the different options. So inevitably what happens is I catch them within about 30 to 45 seconds as they walk off. They look over their shoulder and I start down steps. Okay, I'm on my way. No. They'll go, no. We're just looking at, okay. I'll just wait right here if you need me. By the second or third time, they go, "Come on."
Okay. All right. Come on, Russell.
Right?
Come help me.
And then they realize they're just uncomfortable. So I want to make them feel at ease in my house. Just like if you came over, you've never been to my house before. And if I motion and say, "Hey, Charity, follow me," and I turn and start walking, you're going to follow me.
Right.
Okay? And we'll walk into the living room. And what are you going to do? You're going to start walking around the bedrooms and looking around the house? Not unless you're invited to. Well, people feel that way with their dealership. This is my home, and I want to help and be as respectful and courteous and as helpful as I possibly can be. So our job is to make them feel warm and fuzzy. And it's not about they're there for a reason. So then they start talking. Is this for you, Charity, or is this for somebody else? And so that's a question, that the answer is going to be for them or somebody else. They're only going to be one of two ways. Is this for business or for pleasure? And they'll say, "Oh, it's for business." Are you going to be replacing a vehicle or adding a vehicle? And you start to get them talking. It's going to be one of those two things. Are you interested in safety or performance? Do you prefer lighter colors or darker colors? Next thing you know, they're just going all about, it's got to have this, and that, and all this. And then you walk over. You usually would start, let's say we're looking at, because I sold Toyotas for a long time. We'll start a Toyota Camry, a base model. And we're looking and talk a little bit about features, trying to find out as much as I can if they're replacing through these questions. And then inevitably everybody goes and looks at the sticker. And here's what you don't say. This is $18,863.53. You don't do that. You let them say, you just point, they'll say 18,000, it's 18. This has this, and that. And they'll say, oh, no. No. We got to have it all. So then I'll walk down a few more cars and we'll be at the intermediate model, which is 22,400 or the continue. No, this says a 4-cylinder. I want a 6-cylinder. My car has a 6-cylinder now. I want at least that. So you can find a lot about what people just ask questions.
Yeah.
Make it feel important and welcome them. Anyway,
and
good stuff.
How did you deal with customers that would come in and were standoffish because they're like, oh, he's just a salesman. He's just trying to sell me a car. How did you deal with situations like that?
Well, pretty much similar to what I mentioned a minute ago. I make it a point to go out there and obviously shake their hand and introduce myself and give them a card at the very least. And maybe the other card I'll pull out and write their name. And if I have trouble pronouncing it, that's a good way to start it, particularly if they have a unique type of last name that I'm not used to, pronouncing when you're from Texas, you know what I mean? But anyway, so I'll pronounce it and they'll say, no, or whatever. And then I'll do the same thing. Well, have you been here before? What brought you in today? You hear about our big sale today? No, we don't want to be bothered. We don't want, and so you just try to make it feel easy. I'm going to leave you alone. I'm going to stand right over there on those steps or wherever. You browse, make yourself comfortable. You have my card. If you have any questions, just motion to me and I'll be there. That makes them real comfortable really, really fast because it's important. If they like you, they'll trust you, they'll believe you, they'll buy from you.
Yeah. Wow, you got it down, Russell. You've got down your sales and marketing and, all of the body language. And
now if I could just sell something, Charity.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So what would you say is probably the hardest part to learn for new people coming up or people learning how to, just relax and sell a little bit in their life or in their business? Where would you start?
Well, I think it's important, and you and I have talked about this kind of stuff before, particularly somebody getting into sales for the first time. My son, he followed in my footsteps. He's only worked at one store, and this is his 6th year at the same store.
Wow.
The pasture is not always greener down the road, so don't job hop. Most of the times, the challenge or situations that salesmen and women get into is they think there's something better down the road and they need to look in the mirror because whatever challenges they're facing, it's them. So you can't go where you want to go remaining where you're at. So something has to change. Mm-hmm. And you and I have talked about this stuff before because right now, Charity, Russell Hill is a sum total of everything I've ever seen, heard, read, and done in my life up to this very moment. So we all heard this definition of insanity, keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. So if I want something to change tomorrow and I'm in sales, something's going to have to change or I'm going to keep getting the same results. If I'm not selling and things aren't working, then we need to change who we associate with, what we read, and who we listen to. If we do those things by inputting new information today, you get a new output or different circumstances tomorrow. So if somebody's doing the same thing today without making any of those changes in that area, I know what their last 30 days looked like, and I know what the next 30 days is going to look like. And if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would probably be filthy rich today just from that alone. If I was to bet that this is what's going to happen in the next 30 days, unless they're doing one of these things. So one of the things I did early on is I read for 15 minutes a day early on. My mentor told me, he said, Russell, are you willing to do the things that other people aren't willing to do so that you can have and become the things that most people will never have and never become? What are you willing to do? Quit hanging out with people that have what you have or less than what you have, because that way you're wondering why you don't have any more. You don't know how to get more unless you associate with people that can show you how to do that. So get outside of your comfort zone.
Right. That's really important. You
It
must
is.
be really grateful to have had a mentor that told you that, because you go through school in this country, they teach you how to be a worker. No, they don't teach you how to be an entrepreneur. They don't teach you
No,
how to become bigger, how to make
no,
money, how to grow businesses. They don't teach you that. So you really do need people in your life to turn to you and say, like, this is not how to do it. You
great
have to
point.
do it this way.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. They still don't today, right? They don't teach you how to manage money.
No,
They teach you how to work for money.
that's
People, and listen, everybody wants to make more money. We're America. We're capitalists. We're the number one country in the world that everybody wants to come to achieve the American dream. Even despite all the politics today,
right.
everybody wants to come here because they want an opportunity. They want an opportunity. It's amazing. People can come here in 2 years and they get it together and work hard and smart. But the more money you make, your level of debt seems to increase to the level of your income, and people don't get it. I need to make more money. I need to make more money. I need to make more money. No, it's what you keep,
Mm-hmm.
not what you make. Yes, I mean, obviously it's relative, but I know doctors that make $750,000 a year, but they
Mm-hmm.
owe 1.2 million.
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
broke at a different level.
Yeah.
They
They're
don't they don't
just
know either. They don't know how to make their money work for them. They know how to work for their money.
exactly. Yeah. I would say, everything from CD ladders to, learning investments and, being able to create pillows for yourself if you fall
That's right.
in different areas is very valuable information. And I tell you what, I went to college. I got a master's degree, and I'm not even sure how long that took me. It took me probably about 8 or 9 years. And I have learned more from YouTube University than I have from going to college, because
It's amazing, isn't it?
it's amazing. And also mentors and people like you in my life that, they've played the game, they've been around the block, they know what works and what doesn't.
Well, thank you. I think it's really important. Everybody finds it, I hope, at different times. I've had some real struggles and trial and tribulations. Everybody really has.
Mhm.
Uh, I think it's real important when the student's ready. I think the teacher will appear for whatever reason. You can call it, it's universal law. You can call it God. You can call it whatever you want to. It's like gravity. You can go up, but you're coming down. That's it. I don't know exactly how it all works, but I know that you reap what you sow. I just know it. I just know. It's a firm belief I have. Maybe that's a subject for another time, but you reap what you sow, period. And if you put it out there, that's what you get back. You can't just think about it. You can't just think about it. You have to speak it into existence. It has tremendous, words have tremendous power, all part of marketing too.
Yes.
All part of marketing. How you say, what you say, when you say it, how you're looking when you do that. I mean, all those are important factors. Yeah, it's hard to get a second chance to make a first impression. There's a lot of truth to that, and it's unfortunate, but that's the way our world is. And if you want to be in that world and you want to stretch and reach and get outside of yourself, you're going to have to learn some of these things. And I hope everybody today got something that would be applicable to them, because it's all about chasing the dream and it's all about the why.
Yeah.
It
I
is.
hear you. It's about your attitude, the
It
way you
is.
dress, the way you act, and how you take in the information that's available,
Yep.
educating yourself, whether it be through speaking with people that have done well, or the books that they've written, or the videos that they put out. It's the information is there. You
Everywhere, isn't
just
it?
have to go get it. That's it.
I think that I would challenge anybody regarding whatever you're in. If you want to know more about sales and marketing, etc., just start with something. It's like, okay, all the, what is it? The New Year's resolutions. Okay. We're on the 21st day of the month. Okay. 90% of those people have already stopped their New Year's resolution, because you don't want to make these huge changes. If you want to make a huge change, it requires a tremendous, let's say you went from not working out, by God, you're going to start working out on January 1st. No, just start today. Don't wait till January 1st. But if you do, work out for 15, 20 minutes a day. Don't go out for 4 hours and make some, just because you won't do it. You won't do
Right.
it.
Make yourself sick.
Exactly. So if you want to find out how to do something different, talk to somebody that's gone before you. Okay. Reach out to him. You might think he or she is unapproachable. Not the case. And if they are, they're not the right person to go to anyway. Not if you're really hungry and you want something they have. They'll be more than happy to mentor you. I promise you. Start with a book. Start with a book. Start with 15 minutes a day, not 12 minutes, not 16 or 17 minutes, 15 minutes a day. I'm one of those people that was told that. Oh, I can do that. That's no problem. You'd be surprised finding 15 minutes of peace to read a book and turn the page. Now, I'm not saying listen to an audio book. Yes, you can do that too. Read a book for 15 minutes regarding whatever topic that you're interested in. And when my mentor told me that, he said, if you do that in a year, your world will be completely transformed with all the other things that we're going to do. It wasn't 6 months. And I've never looked back, and it's 27 years later.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's great. I'm always so happy to hear of stories like that, where somebody is striving for information on data. How do I get to a certain point? And then they take that suggestion that your mentor gave you. All he said to do was read and comprehend 15 minutes of a book a day. And it changed your life.
It's really everything. Here's what it really boils down to. Everybody at some point in time has tried walking up a down escalator. Okay. You can make progress. Okay. You certainly can. That's what it's like. Stop and see what happens.
Yeah.
You go down.
Yeah. Yes. And I bet a lot of people feel like that on a daily basis. They're just, walking up a down escalator, drudging through life at a very monotonous pace, not getting anywhere.
This woman has done an amazing job at putting together this first NADA show for fixed ops marketing. She has done an outstanding, phenomenal job. And you'll know when you get close to our booth, you'll feel the energy. And then when you see, I'm not even going to tell you what you see. If you're following Cherry Your Eye and Fixed Ops Marketing and WTF, et cetera, if you're following and looking and seeing our stuff, because it's every single day, when you get close, you'll look around and you'll see it and you'll know WTF. That's what Charity and Russell are. Come by and see us at NADA, right?
Yes, thank you, Russell. It's been a blast. And I mean, it's just stunning artwork, and we're really going to have a lot of fun things to share. And
exciting.
Come by and say hello, even if you don't want a demo or anything like that. Just come by and say hi and meet us. We'd love to meet you or see you again.
Charity will be there signing autographs and books. If you want to know who this person is every day, posting and seeing all this stuff going on, I know you see her right here. Come by and meet her in person.
Oh, and Russell, meet Russell.
Right, there you go. A lot of us will be there. There'll be Leanne, there'll be Brian, there'll be Bob Charbonneau, there'll be Rick Eckert. He's the guy behind the scenes, but you need to meet him. He is a phenomenal guy. I know we kind of digressed a little bit, but thanks everybody for tuning in for WTF. What the Fixed Ops Marketing episode 3. Let's talk a little bit, Charity, or you tell us, Charity. Let's talk a little bit about our first person we're interviewing, other than just you and me and Niko. Where's Niko today, Charity?
Oh, he just woke up. He's right here.
Hi, Niko. Everybody loves Niko. I'm telling you, I got a lot of positive feedback. Hi, Niko.
He's here. So next week, we're going to be interviewing Kaylee from Parts Edge. She's going to join us. Yes. And we'll have a few other surprise guests coming up. So it'll be more than just Russell and I. Okay. And keep following us. We'll keep putting out content for you.
Stay tuned. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I'm sure. I know